It's the Happy Families Podcast. It's the podcast for the time-poor parent who just wants answers now.
Hello, this is Dr. Justin Coulson. Welcome to another episode of the Happy Families Podcast. Father's Day. It's a week away. And so we've decided that this week we're going to celebrate a whole lot of dads who are just damn well amazing. And we're starting with, I think, one of Australia's best known, most recognised media personalities, Osher Gunsberg. He hosts the Better Than Yesterday podcast. It's a podcast that aims to make today just that little bit better than yesterday, and has a chat with guests each time about how they've figured out how to make their lives a bit better than yesterday. You'll see Osher with The Bachelor franchise. He's been involved in The Masked Singer. He had a memoir out called Back After the Break. Osher has kind of been everywhere and done everything. And he joins me now on the Happy Families podcast so that we can talk about what life is like for him as a dad. Osher, thanks for being on the podcast.
Oh, mate, I'm just grateful to return the favour. You have taken time away from your extraordinary download numbers to come on, Dad, what a few times. We're just this tiny little itty-bitty nebulous bunch of dads trying to create a podcast, just this behemoth that you're on. I'm grateful to be a part of it. Thanks, man.
I also love that we've got this guy with this not just an incredible chiseled jaw that everyone gets to enjoy on Network 10, but the voice. Listen to that former radio voice, that television voice.
This is also the voice of someone who's just finished 11 or 12 episodes. I don't know what they're going to do in the edit of The Masked Singer last night at 12:30. And then, was doing the daycare run coming up to 8 a.m. this morning. But this is the microphone. I'm speaking to you on the very microphone. This is the actual setup that I do the previously on. Like, it's this. And tonight on Bondi Rescue, it's this microphone. So that's why it sounds like it does, because this is the microphone that it happens on.
It's the microphone that makes you sound like the ultimate dad, right?
Oh, it's the microphone that pays the bills right now, mate.
Hey, Osher, tell me about this. You said it was a disaster. It was hard work getting your little one. I presume it was Wolfie, getting Wolfie into the car this morning for daycare.
Yeah, Wolf, just this morning on the way to daycare. Sometimes he's just thrilled to go. Sometimes he just can't wait. It's like, are we going yet? Sorry, mate. Just got to get some stuff sorted. Got to pack some more things in your bag. But today, mate, it was just not happening. And it was tough, because his ability to self-regulate is quite limited. And he does intervene. He does get in there. He does have a few little breath things that we've shown him. Like he once got pinched putting his bicycle helmet on. And so he would go on the way. And so now when we get on the bicycle, I go, okay, do your big breath. He goes, and I go, and as he breathes out, I do the click, I click it in, and I go, see, perfect. He goes, yeah, no worries. And so I've seen him do that by himself a few times, and he's not even 3, and he's already self-regulating using his breath, which is brilliant. But his ability to know when to do that is limited, vanishingly small. And so this morning it was just not happening. And it was one of those ones where, look, I'm not the kind of person to put the forearm across the chest to get him into the baby seat ever, but today it had to happen. I had to do it because the arms weren't going in. And it was like one of those mornings where you can't put your head between his feet and the front seat because you're going to cop a kick to the chin. And it's you just need to remember that his ability to decide not to kick you in the face doesn't exist. He cannot regulate his behavior. You can't expect him to know to not hurt someone at that point when he's that agitated. But he just, because of our day with Audrey and I, that like, you just got to go to daycare, mate. Sorry, buddy. We got stuff to do and you can't be around. Otherwise nothing's going to happen today. But understanding how his little brain works and how the decision-making process works and how his dopamine things, all that sort of stuff, how his development works, really, really helps you I find helps me try to keep my calm and try to keep me cool when he's in that state.
Well, you get the Dad of the Year award for your MMA avoidance this morning in the back of the car, and then the trip and I want to call it distraction because in some ways it is, but it's not just distraction. Like you said, once you move out of the initial let me distract you and do the circuit breaking, you're stepping into a mindfulness mode where you're actually just paying attention to the here and now, noticing what's happening and doing good things. It's so nice to hear the way that you've done that and that you're involved like that.
Yeah, sometimes if he's like super losing it, to break the cycle, we live in the way the streets are in our house. There's a little block we can walk around, which takes about 7 minutes, and we walk around the block and it's not a tree, it's a melaleuca tree. Oh, look at this beautiful, Norfolk Island pine. Oh, look at this, there's spiky. Feel that? It's kind of rough. And we go around the block just kind of naming and touching and feeling and seeing the different colors. That's a different color green to that color green, isn't it? Oh, I can hear a currawong. Can you hear a magpie? It's not bird, and we name everything. And then by the time we get back 8 minutes later, different human.
Yeah.
He's a different human.
Yeah. And just even being outside, like you don't have to be a botanist. You don't have to be a naturist to be able to do that. I mean, it's great if you can, but just being outside, it changes our kids. Hey, Osher, right after the break, we're going to talk specifically about you dadding. We're going to do a lightning round.
Okay.
I've got, 10, maybe 11 questions that are going to put you in a couple of compromising positions, make you puzzle a little bit, and have a bit of fun about what it is to be a dad.
All right. Well, look, when I get 2 out of 11, I will then play the theme from the Bluey TV show on my melodica and get myself out of jail.
I love it. Tweens, Teens and Screens is the webinar you need if you're struggling with screen time at home. Join me as I unpack the simplest methods to deal with the screen scene and eliminate the drama without having to ban all devices, even in some of the trickiest situations. Screens can work in your family's favour even if you have tweens and teens. Check out Tweens, Teens and Screens at happyfamilies.com.au. It's the Happy Families Podcast, the podcast for the time-poor parent who just wants answers. Now today, we are getting answers from Osher as we move towards Father's Day and celebrate everything that's great about dads. So Osher, let's dive into this. This is a lightning round. It should take 5 minutes, but I guess that's really going to be up to you. You know what a lightning round means. So
yeah, mate.
Here we go. You've mentioned you've got. Tell us how many kids you've got and how old they are.
We have 2 kids. Georgia is 18. She's my stepdaughter. She's been in my life since she was 10, and Wolfie is nearly 3.
Okay. Which one's your favourite?
I don't have a favourite. There's no favourite. They're both equally magnificent in each way. There's no possible way to pick a favourite.
All right, I'll let you get away with that one. Osher, who do you love the most? Audrey, your partner, or the kids?
It's different things, mate. It's like, what do I love more? Do I love riding my bicycle? Do I love riding my motorbike? Do I love driving my car if I need to go from here to there? I get there each way, but they're different, completely different experiences. You can't compare them.
I love you thinking.
The love that you have for a child is utterly completely different to the love that you have for your intimate partner. They're two separate things. Yeah, it's an impossible question to answer.
Here's another impossible one for you. Ideal number of kids?
We've got 2, and 2 is a perfect number, and it would take 2 concurrent medical miracles for there to be more than 2. We're very, very happy and extraordinarily lucky to have 2.
Osher, how do you rate yourself as a parent out of 10?
Like in the stepdad version of what I do, I probably hover anywhere between 6 and 8, with the occasional dip down to 4 and 3 when I really don't get it right, which happens less now, but used to happen a lot, because I was, being a parental figure to a 10, essentially an 11-year-old with 1 year of parenting experience. I made a lot of mistakes, unfortunately.
I bet, yeah.
With Wolf, I reckon I hover more anywhere again in between about the 6 and the 8, but always looking for that. Never going to get to 10. That's fine. 10 doesn't exist. But yeah, just try my hardest.
Osher, what's something great that your parents did that you've tried to continue in your parenting?
Exposure to music and different expressions of culture, through art or through theatre, or definitely music. Absolutely music. It's a bit easy now. Like Wolfie was born into an Australia that was on fire and then very quickly locked in. So it's been a little harder to go to the theatre and go see orchestras and things. But we do listen to a lot of different kinds of music all the time. We have a lot of different musical instruments, and we are, there's a lot of art, and that I'm really grateful that my parents were right into bringing us into that world. Music wasn't just what was on the radio. Music was, there's orchestras and there's jazz and there's Jacques Tati and there's, there's not just, Marvel movies. There's, all kinds of films. And I'm two of four brothers. That gave me and my brothers just a wider angle view of the world to see expression of emotion in so many different things, rather than just, oh, this is a sad song, so therefore that's what it is. But, for example, the person who designed my Snap Lock iPhone case, that is as much an artistic expression as, Mahler's Ninth Symphony. Being able to see that as the expression, the emotional expression of someone who designed this and created it is a very important thing, I feel. And I think that I'm really grateful that Audrey's on board with all that.
Let's talk about you and Audrey. Who's the better parent?
God, Audrey, come on. Are you kidding me?
Listen to you.
Come on. Like,
brownie points.
It's not about brownie points. It's just about being an admission of what it is that, all I knew about parenting and what it is to be a dad I had from my own family of origin, and everyone has a different story around that. Audrey had Georgia when she was 23. She had Georgia by herself when she was 23 and dropped out of uni to have Georgia, and is just the most extraordinarily kind, parent. And every action was to, pass another little bit of independence and solid boundary to G. And now, she's this super powerful, incredible 18-year-old who's just kicking indoors. She's amazing.
I love it when somebody speaks so positively, so highly of their partner and is willing to do it in a really unashamed and public way.
Oh, mate, come on. She's unbelievable. She's so good. Yeah.
Okay.
I learned everything from her.
Next question for you. What's the hardest thing about being a parent?
I think the hardest thing that I've seen other people go through is just the acceptance, the wonderful acceptance that the life you had until the moment either the kid popped out the sunroof or came out through the undercarriage, that life stopped and the door closed, and that's it. And you say goodbye to it. And that's wonderful, because what happens now is so much more amazing and incredible. And there's elements of the life before that can come into this new bit, but being an acceptance that it's just never, ever, ever going to be that again. If you want to be in the business of creating an independent and resilient human being, which is the job of a parent, that life that you had is wonderfully and happily over. Write it down on a piece of paper, fold it up in a paper boat and push it out in the Brisbane River, off it goes, goodbye. And that's fine, because you get to write a whole new story now. But the people that I know who have struggled with trying to hold on to what it was and trying to have kids that, are good human beings at the same time, and have resentment around the fact that these kids get in the way of what it is they wanted to do. But I think that's a struggle for a lot of people.
Acceptance is hard. If you could spend an hour with your kids at any age, given that you've now got a 3-year-old, but also an 18-year-old, so you're spanning the entire spectrum of childhood. Yeah. If you could spend an hour with your kids at any age, maybe even into adulthood, what age would you choose and why?
I don't know. I guess, let's say sometime in their late 20s, they take a couple of weeks off their busy lives, and we go on some adventure somewhere together, and I get to see them as the independent adults exploring an environment and a world or a country or a city or a place that I've never been to and they've never been to, but I get to see all the work that Audrey and I and they have done in action in the field, and just get to go, well, look at you negotiate a cab price in Helsinki. Nice.
Well, it was an hour, but I reckon a week sounds like a lot more fun. I'm going to let that pass. Osher, what's the ultimate joy for you as a dad?
The ultimate joy, and let me get it out, and then let me get to the last part.
Right.
The ultimate joy is being with the fact that it's no longer about me. Is that it's no longer about me. I am no longer number one, and That is not to say that I'm a humble human being accepting this role of fatherhood. It is because I'm a selfish person. I'm an alcoholic. I'm 12 years sober. My entire career has been, I don't care what you're doing, but I'm just going to just keep charging ahead like a Japanese bullet train. I'm just going to go for this. And I get it. And I've got it. My career is because of that. And now I have to just be with that stops. I have to be okay with that. And who I get to become because of that, who I get to be, like the fact that I am kind of almost being crowbarred into, mate, you're going to have to stop being selfish about everything because it's no longer about you. Who I get to be now because of that is great. And trust me, selfish me still shows up 20 times a day. He really does. And it's a battle. But I think for me, that's the best part because who I get to be as a human has changed. And that was like, for me, that's it. It's who I get to become.
What's that thing that your parents always said that you swore you would never say, but every time you open your mouth, it comes out anyway?
Oh, man. It came out early on with G. And I caught myself saying it and I was just disgusted that it came out around. Your school fees don't pay for themselves, mate.
That's so good. That's so good.
And I was like, I can't believe I just used that as a reason for why you should do the dishes or whatever. This is real early. This is like really, really early. And I was like, oh, I'm going to have to do some work to come back from that. You know, this is a long time ago.
It's a great one. You've got a stepdaughter who's an adult. You've got a 3-year-old. So this might be a bit tricky to answer. You might need to answer it for both of them. But what's your kid's favorite thing to do with you?
Anyone that has teenagers understands that is a very, very small list.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is good because it means you've done your job right. I think she enjoys watching rugby league with me. I enjoy watching rugby league with her.
Who's your team?
Queensland, and I think essentially, I don't know, I just really like the way Penrith play. Even though I'm from the east of Sydney, I live in the east of Sydney and Broncos were the Brisbane team. I just like the way that Penrith play. I don't necessarily have a team. I appreciate great gameplay. But geez, all Raiders all the time.
Wow. Okay. And what about Wolfie? Favorite thing for Wolfie to do with you?
We have a cargo bike that is brilliant. And it fits the three of us, carries 200 kilos. It's got a motor on it and 2 batteries. So it can take me and Wolf and Audrey, like proper, like, you know, Southeast Asia style, the 3 of us on the bike. And it can take us and the beach umbrella and all the toys and everything down to the beach and back again, and, you know, down to the park and back again. And it's unreal. And whenever we get on the big bike, we call it the big bike, it's just the best time, and we have the most wonderful time together, and I love it. He's got his own little tooter horn because whenever we go up the hills, I'm like, mate, I need some help here. So he toots his little, it's like an old school kind of horn. We have the best time ever.
I love that. Osher, what are you most looking forward to as a dad?
Like, it's the same as everybody. It's bedtime.
Right. Nobody said that before. I love it. That's great. If you could go back to you as a young dad, struggling, clueless, right? Whether you're dealing with a stepdaughter or you've just got a brand new kiddo and you're sleep deprived and you need that bedtime, what advice would you give to yourself as a clueless, not quite understanding what's really going on, out of control, burnt out, tired, whatever dad?
Systemize the repetitive tasks and make them habits, and no empty hands. Never get caught behind. Treat your house like a busy cafe. Like, make sure you do clothes right. All right. Clothes means, okay, all the tables are clean, all the dishes are done, all the bottles are sterilized, all the laundry that needs to get done is done. It's seriously never ending laundry. So wherever you are in the laundry cycle, like as much of it as is in process, what machines are going to run overnight, just make that a part of it, like systemize it. Like, this is what I do before bed. This is what I do when I wake up. This is what I do the moment I go down for a nap, and just make it a part of your day. Cause I've been caught behind so many times. Like, suddenly there's, you know, oh Christ, I know there's no bottles, or I haven't got enough of this, or I need to go to the shop for that, or whatever. Just systemize that stuff. And that way, when you're super tired, you know, it's just a habit. You just do it.
Hey, Osher, this is the last question.
You got it, mate.
What's your biggest win as a dad?
At this point, it would be that Audrey and I were able to support our eldest Georgia through an extraordinarily difficult last few years of high school that involved lockdowns, not seeing her friends, not having the teenage experience that anyone else had ever had. To see this young woman who's just powering through the world, it was such a clear goal of what she wants to do. And like, bear in mind, most of this is ordinary, but I'm grateful that I got to play a part in helping this, just support this beautiful, incredibly talented, smart human being, become who she is. I'm just thrilled that I got to be around that.
Yeah, launch into adulthood. Great stuff.
Thanks.
Hey, Osher, really, really great to talk to you. Super that you've been so generous and shared what you have.
And if all else fails, and you got to remember, Justin, if all else fails, if everything's going absolutely bonkers, you just pull out your Hona melodica. This is the exact instrument that Geoff Bush plays the intro theme of the Bluey television show on. And so if you're having a total meltdown, you just whip out the Justin. Osher! And then the kids go like, what? What did ever just happen? They forget everything. And then you bang, dinner.
The Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Rulon from Bridge Media. Craig Bruce is our executive producer. And if you'd like more info about making your family happier, visit happyfamilies.com.au.
Have you ever been sick?
Sick? Well, yes. I've got bum worms.
Good grief.